If you like what you're seeing and hearing, please consider subscribing to the podcast. You can go to either Apple iTunes, the Google Play Store, Spotify, or Amazon Music in the podcast section. It'll hit Monday morning or Sunday afternoon, depending on when it posts. And the video will hit on YouTube and Spotify Monday. Spotify will hit Monday evening, and YouTube it'll hit Monday morning, 7 a.m., just like it does for the audio services. So please go to those places and consider subscribing or listening to the show. You can also write to me at gwgpodfellows@gmail.com if you want to write me a letter. Let me know what you think of the show, things like that. Or you can also find me on Twitter at JustLittleJoe. So go to those places and please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks. And with that, we'll get on to the episode. Hello, my name is Joseph Carlson, and this is episode 252 of Gaming with Grief. And I'm doing something I don't normally do. I'm going to talk more about Banishers Ghost of New Eden. So no big intro or anything into the show. I've been playing this game more and more, and I've really been thinking about it. Usually I try not to watch reviews of games that I'm covering. And so after I got done with my review on Banishers Ghost of New Eden, it was, which I'll put, one of the things there. I haven't decided which side, but I'll do it there, my full review if you want to watch that. I guess this is a review discussion. I don't know what this would be called. I mean, I'm just by myself. Usually there's more people around doing this at like a round table or something. But what I kind of realized as I was playing the game, I'm going to platinum it. Obviously, I'm playing it on PlayStation. It's just really good. And I think bringing up the thing before of like, I don't watch a lot of reviews, before I play a game. That's because with this one, obviously I've said before, I'm looking at the game through a very narrow lens of how the game deals with grief, or at least illuminates something or articulates something unique about grief, death, or dying. And that's kind of like how I review games. And so most reviews you watch, from like GameSpot to IGN to SkillUp, I really like SkillUp's channel reviews. They talk about the combat, exploration, like all good things. And I brought them up a little bit on my review. But the thing I think that everybody misses, or I've seen in several reviews after I got done watching it, is everybody seems to say the same thing, which is, the game Banishers Ghost of New Eden starts out with a moral quandary. You are a Banisher, Red McWraith, and your partner, Antia Duarte, is, you're the apprentice. She is the, the senior, or the teacher, or the master, whatever you want to say. And she dies in the beginning. This is all kind of in the promotional material for the game. And what I think is interesting is it seems like all the reviews brought up the same thing, that, well, isn't, because the quandary comes in the fact that she dies, comes back as a ghost and tells you, I can't believe we found each other. And basically there's this ritual we could do, that could bring me back to life, but it involves killing people. If we kill enough people and take their essence, then you can give that essence to me, and I can be resurrected. I can be with you again. And there's two things in the reviews that I read that like nobody really touched on. One, it would seem moral that you wouldn't want to kill people to bring somebody back to life, right? It would just seem like the thing, if we're all being reasonable, moral people, that seems like that crosses the line. But now imagine you're in a place where these things do happen. There is such thing as banishers that can banish ghosts. Later on, you find witches that can see the future and have these teleportation abilities, kind of. And you find demonologists who, do dark rituals and maybe delve into a little bit more than they should. Anyway, all this is plausible in this world. You've just experienced the death of someone, your lover or wife or partner, however you want to say it, someone who has died. They come to you and say, listen, you could bring me back. Now, you've only lost her for a few weeks or a few months. In the beginning of the game, that's a little bit unclear. You talk to Seeker, the witch, and she says it's hard to say, I found you, I brought you to this cove so you wouldn't die when you fell into fell into the ocean after fighting the nightmare. It's hard to say. I don't think there's a specific time, but they just mention it's been some period of time. So you're in the depths of your grief. The person that you love most in the world has died. And she comes back to you as a ghost and says, we can make this right and you can make me real again. Now everybody's like, well, the moral thing, but she says we have to kill people. Now, again, a lot of the reviews were like, well, that's not the moral way. The clear moral path is to just, um, release her, ascend her, and move on. But as someone who's experienced a lot of grief and can say, not definitively, but from my perspective, in the apex of all your feelings, if somebody came to you and says, there's a way to bring this person back and we could do it together and you'll have me again, I think it's plausible to say, well, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that bet. If we can do it together, we'll do it. And Red and Antia bring it up in the game all the time. We'll see this through. It's dark, but we're going to do it to be together. Now, the other point I want to bring up is everybody's like, well, and it even says, well, we'd have to kill a lot of people. Mechanically, you don't really have to, because I had to review the game and I did like the least amount of things possible, because you either blame the human and kill them and take their essence, you ascend the ghosts and let them go to the afterlife, or you banish them to the void. The ghost components, either the ascending or the banishment, helps Antia ascend. When you blame someone and kill them and steal their essence, basically judge, jury, and executioner, putting them on trial for their crimes. You don't have to kill that many people. I think you have to kill like 3 people. Or I ascended basically all the ghosts, but I did just a few cases to kind of get through the narrative. There's online websites I went to that says like there's a chart, like you do this because there's like 5 endings of the game. So it's like if you banish these amount of people and blame these amount of humans and ascend these amount of ghosts, then this will happen. But the other thing that I think is interesting about the choice is some of these people are not good people. Like there was somebody in the game, I think I brought it up in my review, but she is a slave owner. And you explain to her, she says she fell in love with her slave, but she never gave him his freedom. Fernando. I actually forget the ghost name. It doesn't matter. She's a slave owner. It doesn't matter. But she's deluded in the fact that they love each other. And Fernando says when you come to him and say, like, what's going on? This ghost came to me and said she's sad. She can't see you anymore. And he's like, I was her slave. And they're like, did you love her? And he's like, no, I was going, I was a dog getting his pets. I was going through the motions because I wanted some form of freedom. And he's wearing a brooch that allows her to not, like, it's a ward basically, so she can't haunt him basically. He removes a roach so that you can, have closure to the situation because you're a banisher. The ghost speaks, I love you, Fernando, all this. And he's like, you don't love me. I was a pet to you basically. And that's not freedom. If you really love me, you would have signed away, given me my freedom. That would be the thing to do. And and when I played the game originally, I just ascended her. I was like, this is a horrible situation. Just be gone. But he gets mad. He's like, she had an opportunity to do the right thing and she didn't, and she'll never learn. They have a little back and forth. You run into, this is a spoiler. I mean, I'm spoiling like most of the game. I've already done my review. But you run into someone who basically this group of settlers has to move. Her name's Thickskin. They have to go to another settlement. And she says, listen, to be faster, we're going to split everybody up. We have good hunters and people that are good with rifles in this group. And then we have my group and everything. And we're just going to split you, so that way, and you investigate all this. And then you find out it's like one of the main bosses in the game. It's the, I don't think it's called the Nightmare. It's called the Beast. And it's basically an amorphous amalgamation of these people that have died because they have these whistles. If they get in trouble, they can blow them, but that calls the wolves. And it's like wolves and spirits. It's a cool design. It's in the, I actually got I got my wife's permission to get the collector's edition. I got the one with, it's a notebook. It's like Red's notebook. There's a lot of blank pages, but you get like a calligraphy set with it, but they have things of the Beast. What I like about it is Anyway, you come to find out that Thick Skin purposely separated these people because the strong shall survive. Her group was stronger. The other group will die. It doesn't matter. You know, they're useless to her, all this stuff. What I find so fascinating about that is you confront her after that. I basically banished the beast because I was like, you guys have all gone through enough. But when you do, and the ghosts are kind of ascended, you know, Thickskin has a sister. They kind of come to grips with it because it's like, what are you doing? You're forsaking these people. And you again confront Thickskin and say, what are you doing? You know, you led to the deaths of these people. And she said, they were weak. They were going to drag us down. And then you say, well, there's got to be a different way. And basically, at the end, if I'm inferring everything right, she's saying, it doesn't matter. I'll do it again. It's all the strong shall survive. And you could make an argument that, yes, this is the world you live in. It's difficult. You need strong leaders. The weak should die. But I did my playthrough and I ascended and I let her go. I said, listen, just go about your way. You can you know, spare her basically. And but in the second playthrough I'm doing right now, I it's kind of neat. They let you have different save files, so you can like go through your save files, decide where you want to pick up. But I killed her because I was like, there's no way you're not learning from this situation, you know. Um, and I don't feel bad about that. I mean, I haven't done every case. Again, I'm platinuming it, so now I'm going back and kind of doing the other cases. But again, that's one thing that didn't get brought up in the reviews, the fact that some of these people are just incredibly bad people that are not helping the situation. There's another soldier lady you meet who's like, you go, I think it's Fort Jericho, you go to this place and he, Pennington, I think his name is, he's just kind of lost and gone and doesn't care. Every day is a downer. There's no sense in doing all these things. And he comes to blows with people there at the camp. I haven't originally. I just spared him, and he's kind of a sad sack in a room writing a piece of paper. My point is, if we're to quote unquote suspend disbelief, if we're playing a game, and you are incredibly grief stricken and you're sad, and the person you care about most comes back to you and says, you know, we can fix this. It's dark, but we could do it. And these people you run into are reprehensible. You know, you're like, so what you're telling me is I have to take some people that are objectively bad, kill them, and then bring you back, who is an objectively good that I know is an objectively good person, and we could go about our lives. Now there is a dialogue thing where they talk back and forth. They're like, if we complete this, we no longer can be banishers. And you know, it's like, yeah, they both understand. Yes, what I think is I don't think it's as black as white as some of the reviews that I saw or read or watched said. And I think again, the people at Don't Nod and Focus Entertainment did a great job. Um, just kind of like, yeah, this, you know, there is a lot of pausing. In fact, my wife is playing the game. When I got the collector's edition, I got another copy of the game. I gave it to my wife. She's playing it. She feels much the same way, where she's like, man, some of this is like rough. You kind of sit on the closure screen of blame, you know, kill the person, banish, or ascend, and really think about it for a bit. And there's some that I haven't got to yet that I'm finishing up. You know, the one I'm doing in the middle of now, there's a merchant, I mean, I think again at Fort Jericho, she pretty much keeps someone's wages, and then he leaves with the key for the strong box and tries to get out of town, and then is killed by wolves and bandits, I think wolves. And he comes to the ghost, and you're like, well, what are you going to do with the money? I mean, you're dead. You don't need money. And he's like, I had someone I cared about deeply back home, I think in Boston. And I want them to have the money because, you know, they're really hurting. And so I want to, you know, I haven't got done questioning the shopkeeper. I'm probably not going to kill her, but it's like, what is going on? Like, why would you keep someone's wages, you know? And I think the ghost said it was sentimental because her husband ran the shop. I just think everything is really well written in that regard. And so I don't think, when I was playing it, you know, the crux of the, oh, this is morally good and this is morally bad. So like, done, 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 you know, wash my hands of it. We're good. I'm just going to be the good person. It's like, no, like if this person is actively killing people or leaving to the deaths of people, and they say, I'm not going to change. It's like, so you're just going to do this again? So you're just going to kill more and more people, or the strong shall survive, like that kind of thing? Like, I don't know. That's not acceptable in my version of Red. Again, you can make the argument that that's just the world they live in, but I can't. I don't know. It isn't as clear. Like I said, it's something that I don't see a lot of reviewers talking about. So I really want to talk about that. I'm playing the game more. It's heavy on my mind. I'm playing another game also for review. I'm hopefully something special will work out next week, and I'll tell you why next week. But I don't. Again, I don't. I love this game very much. I don't know. Right now, for at least 2024, it is my kind of like grief game with grief game of the year contender, at least. Obviously, I haven't played every game yet. That's going to come down the pike. But I just want to share that with everybody. I just think it's something that isn't talked about enough. So I think with that, I rambled on for about 15 minutes or so. I think, that's it this week, everybody. I will talk to everybody next week.